Well, it's another week and another, let's hope that I can actually sew something this week. So as promised, I'll have that flange binding section in here, but I'm really hoping to get a block sewn, get 2 blocks sewn, just something sewn so that it's more than just me long arming for other people right now, because I feel like my sojo's starting to kind of like crash a little bit with all like looking on my floor and seeing all my scraps all over the place. And so it's just, I really want to sew, but committing to sewing while everything is all over the place is a little stressful. Usually this is normal. So usually I am doing my cleaning at the beginning of the year. I'm not so much like a wait until spring cleaner. It's usually like a January 1st kind of purge kind of situation. So, which is perfect because that's kind of what we're doing in the rest of the house too. So we've been moving stuff around, getting everything situated. We've got my husband's out getting a couch today so that we can get the living room all situated. I've put boxes in the closet with summer clothes, and it's just a whole lot of everything. So cleaning here, cleaning everywhere. Who likes cleaning? I know it's not me. So Karen Brown's declutter challenge has also been a great little asset. I haven't been following the daily prompts because it's just been so much going on. So I'll probably, once I get everything kind of in control a little bit, go back and do her little daily prompts. But I've been playing her videos kind of in the background. I've got a TV here in my sewing room. And so just kind of keeping those going and kind of getting me inspired to clean and declutter, and that it's okay to get rid of stuff if I don't think I'm going to use it or not going to be any good. So with that, I have had a request. So somebody wanted to see me sort scraps. So I will go ahead and give you as much of an aerial view as I can with this tripod setup that I have, and enjoy watching me sort some scraps. So this is what that 20 minute of scrap sorting got us. It feels like a lot and not much at the same time. But this section over here, like I couldn't see floor there, so that's a visible progress. And so what I think I'm going to do is, at least for the meantime, I bought this. Let me get this out of the way. So I had this one that I bought before, and then I bought a second one of these off of Facebook Marketplace. It's not the IKEA cube shelf, it's the Target one. And so these cubes are all empty. So what I'm thinking, at least for now, is that I'll just start dropping scraps by color in these. So then that'll be a good start. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, black and white, and then probably my like printed one. So like I've got golf balls, and there's Disney stuff in here, and like this stuff. Things that are in my closet that I haven't quite gotten to yet. So that's kind of my plan, but I really just want to sew. This week I'm also working on organizing my thread. So this is what we're down to sitting up here. Let me show you what it looked like before. And here's what we're at after. So I bought this from Target a while ago, knowing this is what I wanted to do with it and kind of keep my threads all organized in there. I've got this OESD snapper box or whatever it is, because it was the right color. So that's holding some of my threads that have the bobbins that I know what their color is. And so These are all in here. And then I'm using the app called Thread Stash to kind of check off and organize what I have. So then I hopefully don't buy duplicates. Hopefully don't keep buying duplicates really. So there we have it. There's that little update on my thread, and we'll see what's next. Well, as promised, here is that little bit of a section of making the flange binding, and I'm using the Jordan Fabrics tutorial that I found on their YouTube. I watched a couple different ones. I watched the Jordan Fabric one, and I also watched the one from Natalie with Missouri Star, and I found that I liked the measurements and dimension of the Jordan Fabric one more. I think the Missouri Star one would have ended up a little bit wider as far as my overall strip, but that was my deciding factor. So let's go make some flange binding. So this is my outer piece, and this is what it's gonna be, the main binding. So I need to cut 1 1/4 strips of this one. Let me make sure it's all lined up because we're like creeping up a little bit there. So I need 6 strips because it told me to cut 5 and then have like a binding extension left over from when I was piecing, but I don't know where that piece went. So luckily this remaining chunk here has 1/4 1, should be able to get 6 strips. 1/4 1. 1/4 1, so there's 4. Oh, shoot. 1 1/4. So now that gets rid of that scrap, and I've only got this much left, so that's not worth saving to me. So that's gonna go over there to get tossed later. I'm gonna cut off these ends. I'm gonna get rid of this little strip. So I'm gonna cut off my selvages so they're ready to be done with. And then I'm going to use this Gotham gray that was left over from the backing of my Crossroads quilt. And that's gonna be what the little flange is. I thought about doing the pink, but I just didn't think it would have as much of an impact. So, because this is like half with the fabric-ish, I'm going to cut 12 of these, which will then also help my seams not light up, which is what you want. So this one I need 12 1 1/2s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, I'm gonna just make it on that. 11 and 12. Okay, so I'm gonna flip these up so I can trim off what's there of the selvage on the one side. I don't want to lose all of my length, so I'm just gonna get those out of the way. And then once I get these trimmed, I'm going to connect all of my gray ones all together, and then all of my teal ones all together, press them open like they were their own binding strips, and then sew them right sides together so they become one double strip. So do that. And then I will meet you at my sewing machine. So now that I've got this super long snake, I've got to press this towards the shorter side, I think. Because then that's going to come over. Yes. Because then when I stitch in the ditch, it's going to stitch through all the layers. And that bulk's going to be away from there instead of folding underneath. So let's go over to my big board so I can press and then press again and then have a nice flange binding. And there we have our nice flanged binding. So here is the strip right here. So what's gonna happen that you saw on Friday's video is I'm gonna sew it to the back with the gray side up. So then when I pull it around to the front and top stitch, this is what's gonna be on the top. I know it sounds a little backwards that I'm not seeing the teal there, but that's because when it pulls over, this is what's gonna be up against the edge of the quilt on the inside. And we see all of this. So I think this is gonna be a great way that's gonna help me get through some of my scraps, especially when I hit these 3-yard quilts that I can't quite make 2.5 inch wide binding on. So let's see what else we have in store for today. So I'm here for my first guild meeting of the year, and we are going to see what we're talking about today is about sew-alongs and sew-togethers and all sorts of fun stuff like that. And if there's a free table, I may look at it to see if there's anything that will help out some 3-yard quilts. Because if it's free, I'm not buying fabric, right? At least I think that's what I'm telling myself. So I'm gonna go on inside and see what's up. So the meeting's over. I did hit up the free table, but more on that in a little second. And so it was all about sew-alongs and block of the month and what other word? Stitch-alongs and those kind of things. So things I like to do that I kind of have fallen out of for a little bit with everything going on just in life. But she did post that there's some fun sew-alongs coming up in the next coming months. I know there's one that's, I think it's called Best Buds from Pen and Paper Designs, which is the same one that did my double wedding ring quilt or my Vegas wedding ring quilt. And I also did her snail quilt, garden snails, as a slow along a couple years ago. And so that one I may consider doing. It starts next month. So if I need to buy fabric, that is in February. But I have ideas. I think it could be a cute one for my niece now that she's going to be 3 this year, which is wild. But so I did hit up the free table, and as I was looking at things and I said, I'm not buying anything in January. If it's on the free table, that's fine, right? And somebody, a couple ladies around me were like, yeah, that's totally fine. That's what I'm telling myself too. So, but I did pick just these 2 fabrics up because they appear to be over a yard, which is perfect for 3-yard quilts. And then I think one of them, my one that I have coming up is, I need a 3rd fabric for it, and I was like, well, I could just use kind of white, but the colors in it, it's not a true white. So I think one of these might be a little bit better, hopefully. If not, it'll just be a blender that goes with something else. So this one, surprise, something teal. This could be a good one, but this one is the one I saw first that I think could be a good background color. It's a like gray and it's got blue and white polka dots. I don't know if this one's gonna work, but it'll work for something because it's a good little blender that's gray and not just solid gray. I may have to go scrappy on this one now that I'm thinking about it. And then I thought I picked up one of the Jenny Doan block books, but I didn't see it in my bag. So maybe I picked it up, flipped through it, and then put it back down on the table. But I did win a door prize. So I got this book, and I picked it because it was Modern Quilts, not because her name is Emily, but it's a good win-win. I've done some of her patterns before, so I like her designs. I think it's gonna be a fun one to flip through and add to my library. And so I'm gonna go get lunch now, and then it is a chore kind of Saturday, so we're gonna be doing a lot of stuff in the house. So hopefully I can get some sewing in, because I really want to do more than just say that I made flange binding in this video. Well, we've rounded out another week. I think Trixie's meowing at me. So here we are, and this cleaning is just overwhelming. It makes me want to sew, but also I can't sew because of so much stuff going on. But I'm determined to get this pillowcase done. This was a scrap that I pulled out thinking there was enough for a 3-yard quilt, and it's only 34 inches, not 34, 27 inches, 3/4 of a yard. So I'm gonna take this and this scrap that was left over from a backing from some 3-yard quilt, and I'm gonna turn it into a pillowcase so I can say I've at least done something before the week is over.